Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. And for the censors out there who monitor the community guidelines, we always tell you that at the New Health Conversation, the only thing we ever share with our audiences is real medical proof, backed up by, published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. We don't make claims, we don't have to make claims because everything is backed by medical proof. It's completely safe, it's not outrageous, it's absolutely proven by medical proof. So we always like to let you know that. We're researchers. There's nothing to buy on our websites. We're not trying to sell people anything. We have nothing to sell. They're going to learn on their own about the newest up-to-date scientific data as far as weight loss, nutrition, health goes. We're going to contrast that with the other medical evidence showing why we're having so many problems today. So we always like to share that with you. Well, hello everybody and welcome. So he shed 40 pounds in just 30 days. It's 100% real. He's kept it off for good. No BS. Diet's just a revolutionary new weight loss protocol that's proven in 10 peer-reviewed. It's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. You can get free coaching, and it's a free medical proof. You can see it at the New Health Conversation. You can see it right there in blue. So I'd just like you all to ponder that for just a moment. So imagine he lost 40 pounds in 30 days. He's 65 years old, and we're going to show you his medical results as well. But he's not the only one. This is not a diet. This has nothing to do with counting calories. No one was allowed to exercise. If you're really serious, if you're serious about losing weight, then you want to be on this podcast. It is not pre-recorded. It's live. I'm here to interact with you and answer questions. I'm going to explain exactly what they did. This was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. It took them 40 years, 100 studies to crack the code on weight loss and obesity. Whatever diet you're on now is completely obsolete because of this new breakthrough, which is, like I said, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. Anybody that you're following, I'd love you to tell me, anybody you're seeing on social media, they're not showing you one shred of medical evidence. Oh, they're showing you can buy recipes and you can get a coach and you can do, all this stuff, but there's no medical proof behind anything that any of them are saying. Well, what is it, Libby? I'm going to explain that to you in just a moment. Let's come over here and look at some of now this will shock some of you ladies, I'm sure. She lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month. Here's what they did. The researchers determined after 100 studies in 40 years that counting calories was completely ludicrous. As a matter of fact, they found that 2/3 of every people on all the diets they analyzed in 40 years gained back more weight than they lost. And they said the fundamental flaw with all diets is you're all counting calories, and the human body can't count a calorie, doesn't know what a calorie is, has no idea what calories are. So what they did, they put together new food groups and a new way of eating. I'm going to explain it to you right now. 30% of what she consumed, well, here's the best way to think about it. Whatever you bought last month at the grocery store or spent on groceries, you're only going to take 30% of that money and buy from your grocery store. You buy nothing from us, you buy nothing from these researchers. And the researchers put together the foods based on one principle, nothing to do with calorie counting, only to do with the amount of nutrition in the foods they picked. And you get a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. The list is free. You go to your grocery store, you buy the food. Only 30% of what you're going to spend that you spent last month. The other 70%, and here's what made it work, and you can't buy at your grocery store. It came from other researchers who'd gone around the world for 20 years to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So now the researchers had the foods, right? 30% from your grocery store, all organic, and the other 70% from these far reaches of the world. Then what they did, they invented a new way of eating. It was so advanced that the U.S. Patent Office guaranteed them a registered trademark for this new way of eating called protein pacing. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. 4 meals a day. She started with these foods from around the world. She had lunch from the grocery store list that you would get, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. Now, it was very important that it was 4 meals. It wasn't just about that they were giving her more nutrition. It was also the fact that the way the nutrition was used in the body really mattered. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. Excuse me, she was eating every hour and a half for 2 hours. The diabetics on this, no one had insulin spikes. Now, here's what also made this different than any diet that's ever been out there. They did extensive medical research. They did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, body composition, muscle enzymes, etc. And what they found first and foremost, this was a detox. They unequivocally proved this was removing herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon from our body. In case you didn't know it, you're drinking, you're breathing, you're eating chemicals. As those are into your body, the body takes that chemical and stuffs it inside your fat cells. That's why you all complain not just about how much weight you've gained, but how much fat you have in their body. Do you know, despite all that weight loss, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise? They didn't want them to exercise because otherwise you said, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. So first, it's a detox. Number two, for the first time ever, they measured inflammation, which every one of you has. It came down 25% in a month. Hunger came down 40% in a month. And the diabetics on this, their need for insulin came down 41% in 30 days. And again, it's all published in these peer-reviewed human trial studies, which you all can go to for free. See, visit the right above her head. Visit the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website to go to. There's nothing there to buy. The only thing there is the medical proof, and we won't even contact you if you go there. However, if you like what you see, notice free coaching. Scroll down, you get a coach. It's not a gimmick. The coaching is 100% free. You're not buying anything from the coaches. We all got coached. You're either buying 30% of your food from the grocery store and 70% from these exotic foods around the world. And then look at these results. Look at Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. 30, come on. That's almost a pound a day. And then look at this lady, 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Where's the loose skin, everybody? You think any diet's ever done this? Most of you are running from this because you can't believe it's real. It is real. If you think we're faking it, then you are on the wrong podcast. And there's plenty of influences that sell you this malarkey. It's malarkey. In 4 years, they're estimating 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese in 4 years. Does that sound like diets are working to any of you? This is the breakthrough. It took 40 years and 100 studies, and they had to prove it. That's how come it got published in these 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world, like the Obesity Journal, like Frontiers in Physiology, Nutrients, Nutrition Journal, Frontiers in Nutrition, and Nature Communications, arguably the #1 medical journal in the world. This is going to change everything you ever thought about diet, exercise, nutrition. And yet you're all hanging on to these old dogmas. Paleo, keto, Mediterranean, carnivore, count your macros, nonsense, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, none of them work long term. If you're lucky enough to still be in the United States and go to the beach this weekend or tomorrow, it's Labor Day, look at America, look what's going on. Do you really believe, any of you, that diets work long term? There's not one shred of evidence to back that up. We got people now like Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. They're saying the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, she says. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not on which food we're consuming. Drop the calories notion. It's over. I'll give you one more. Here's a big study. Stop counting calories. Nothing that I'm sharing with you is my opinion. You want opinions? You got plenty of these influencers that give you a bunch of horse manure. There's no proof behind what they're saying. Listen to this. The truth is, calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight, in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. You're on diets to gain weight. Did you know that? You are. You are. I went to the website, the video would not play for me. Sweet tea, the only thing I can tell you is, I'm not sure what do I want to say? What, did you go to Google? Did you go through Google to go there? Because it works. I mean, we test it every single day. I'm not disagreeing with you, but the video would not play. I'd try it again, but I'd try maybe going through Google. It depends on what maybe your search engine isn't letting you in. I'm really sorry about that, okay? Because you really need to see that. You're talking about the one that says 60 minutes that'll change your life, am I correct? That's the one you're talking about? Yeah, that's really the most important one that there is there, okay? Who else would like to ask me a question? Oh, I'm sorry, I guess I didn't explain to you again, everybody, what they did, but let me show you a couple more pictures here. Look at this, everybody. This is Curtis. I showed you that in the beginning. He lost 40 pounds in 30 days, but let's look at his real numbers here, Curtis. So he lost 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days, but look at his blood work. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, his triglycerides 242 to 124. That was in 30 days with no exercise. Look at his stomach. Look at how much it came down. That's the detox. This, everybody, is a detox. It's not a weight loss. It's not a diet. The weight loss is one of the side effects of it in a very, very good way. Okay? So who else would like to ask me a question? And then look at Andy, 45 pounds, 60 inches in 30 days. And look at his A1C from 7.9 to 6.2, LDL 120 to 59 in 30 days. One of the most amazing things about this is the sustainability. These pictures are all 8 or 9 years old. They've kept the weight up for 8 or 9 years. Look at Janet here. 100 pounds she lost. She's kept it up for 12 years. 12 years. I mean, it's crazy. And then look at this couple, Michael and Sheila. Michael lost 15 pounds, Sheila 10 pounds. In the first 11 days, they went on in 5 months. They each lost over 60 pounds. She lost, I think, 62. He lost 65. And they've kept it off for 2.5 years. This is not a diet. There's nothing like this. Nothing. You're all kidding yourselves if you think you're on any of these diets and you're going to lose weight and keep it off long term. It's not happening. It just is not happening. This is life-changing. This is, look, you all can go to the website. It's free to go there, the New Health Conversation. Despite tea, we are the people that couldn't get it, sweet tea, sorry. You guys couldn't get it to play. I really believe I don't know if you're going in through, if you're not doing, try through Chrome. I mean, that's the only thing I can tell you. I know that it works. I mean, we have people every day, all day long going into it. I don't know what's the problem with your download. I mean, and also you're trying to download it from your phone rather than maybe your laptop. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But honestly, that website is really important, and we're not going to contact you if you go there. I'm going to sneeze. Wow. Sorry, everybody. Anyway, to make a long story short, of the new people coming on, who would like to know how in the world... Now listen, not only did... I'm going to sneeze again. Although she lost 21 pounds in a month, that's 5 pounds a week, okay? She lost no water weight, and she actually gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no... Well, look at her stomach, everybody. Let me see if I can show you a better picture of that. Yeah, I'll get out of the way. Look at her stomach and her hips on day 1, and then look at on day 30. That's with no exercise allowed. They actually were Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise, not that the researchers were against exercise, but otherwise you would have said, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. The hell it was. No, it was just the protocol. So hi, Joan, Nola joined, Ever, Jeline, Sapphire, Sunny, Jenny, hello to all of you. Hello to everybody. Paul joined from your posts. Everybody. Who would like to know how in the world she did this? Anybody? I'm waiting for a taker. I'm happy to explain it. The thing that I think you'll all be absolutely shocked, look at this picture here. She lost 200 pounds in a year and she's kept it off. I mean, there's no photoshopping involved there. You can think it is, but it's not. It's actually real. And she's kept it off. Every person we're showing you, this is like they're from 8. Tell us, please, Jenny from the beach. Oh, wow. What beach? Are you in Florida? Are you in Florida? And again, Jenny, if you're from the beach, tell me, go to the beach and tell me if you're seeing America. Tell me if that is... so you're from Florida. Oh, great. Okay, we got a lot of people in Florida. Okay, sorry, I was going to explain to you how it works. Okay, so give me a minute or two to explain it to you, Jenny, and everybody else, all right? Look, first of all, who invented it? The top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Look, I'm going to talk as fast as I can because I know everybody's really impatient. But this is life-changing. So give me about 2 or 3 minutes to go through the whole thing. First, it was discovered by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They had done 100 studies over 40 years, and never found a diet that ever where you didn't lose weight and gain it all back. 2/3 of you will gain more than what you lost on any diet, okay? Now, what the researchers found after, because they were paid to analyze diets. And they never found one that ever worked long term after 40 years and 100 studies. So what they did, why don't diets work, okay? Well, there's three primary reasons that may shock you. Why don't diets work? The number one is the biggest fallacy out there is you're counting calories. It's the dumbest thing that anybody came up with. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. So let's look at what the researchers have said about counting calories. Calories in, calories out is a dangerous fraud. The body completely ignores calories, which are merely a lab-invented unit of energy with no corresponding biological sensor or mechanism. Instead, the body craves essential air, water, and nutrition to function, where hunger acts as a signal for nutrient deficiencies rather than mere energy shortfalls, rendering calorie tracking not just ineffective, but a harmful distraction that perpetuates obesity cycles and dieting. So the very first thing the researchers did, no calorie counting on this at all. Number two reason, why in the world you're all having so much trouble losing weight or maintaining the weight loss. And that's because our food is becoming all but nutritionally bankrupt. As a matter of fact, in the most recent studies, and I have them here, let me read you this. Over the last 25 years, scientific studies indicate that the nutritional values of foods has decreased by as much as 50% in many of the foods we're consuming. So the problem is your hunger in your body is not created from lack of calories, as it said, it's from lack of nutrition. So even if you're doing organic, the foods, I'll give you an example. A bowl of spinach from 1957 to today, to equal the same amount of nutrition, you have to eat between 20 and 30 bowls of spinach, okay? So now you're in a position where you think you're eating healthy and you're still hungry because you're missing nutrition, okay? The third thing is that the lack of the nutrition is contributing to a condition called malabsorption. Let me read just one sentence to explain it to you. Poor gut health can paradoxically lead to both weight gain and a state of hidden starvation called malabsorption, where the body fails to properly absorb nutrients despite adequate food intake. So now the three things going against you. You're counting calories, which the body has no idea with. You're eating foods that even in your best from your grocery stores is still lacking in total amounts of nutrients that could be there. And then third, your body is unable to absorb them at the highest levels. So that's why the research is 30% of what she consumed or you would consume, you'd get a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie counts, they give you serving sizes based on one principle: high levels of nutrition in the foods they picked for you, okay? Now here's what made it work. The other 70% of what you would consume does not come from your grocery store. It comes from other researchers who'd gone around the world for 20 years to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but very small amounts of food. So then they invented a completely new way of eating called protein pacing, where 5 days a week she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, nothing from the grocery store. Breakfast, lunch from your grocery store, dinner from your grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. That's called protein pacing. 2 days a week, no food from your grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time you'd be eating 8 times a day. You'd literally be eating every hour and a half to 2 hours over the course of a day. Now, what did they find? First of all, there were diabetics on this, lots of them. No one had insulin spikes. But here was the most important thing that I'm going to teach you right now. This is a detox. How can I say that? Because the researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, muscle analysis, enzymes, and they proved that this was assisting the body in removing the chemicals that were storing inside our fat cells. That's why you all complain to us, not just about how much weight you've gained, but how much fat you have in your body. Because your body is taking the chemicals in that we can't avoid and stuffing them in the fat cells, and those fat cells are expanding. Look at her waist on day 1, everybody, and look at her stomach on day 30. That's because of the detox. So the number one reason to do this is detox. And number 2 reason, this lowered inflammation by 25% in a month. This has never been seen with any drug, with anything ever in history. Number 3, hunger came down 40% in a month. 40%. Well, it made sense because they were getting these high levels. Also, they found, and this is really exciting. Remember I told you about your stomach, your gut, and why the malabsorption? Well, one of the studies was published in Nature Communications, the number1 medical journal in the world. It was about the gut microbiome remodeling and metabolic profile improves drastically in response to intermittent fasting and protein pacing in just a month. So people's guts were healing. So not only were they getting these huge amounts of nutrients from around the world, the body was absorbing way more. That's why she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass in a month, and no one was hungry. Is that making sense? I went as fast as I could. Now, again, you get a second chance at visit the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website where all this information is there that you can see. And if you go there, we will not contact you. We don't do that. But if you like what you see, then you can scroll down, you get a coach for free. Now, why don't we call you if you go? Because we don't want to have you feel like we have nothing to sell you. We're here to educate you. We're here to show you. We'll coach you for free. So again, what do you think about that? Who would like to ask me a question? Jenny. How about Jenny from the beach? Does that make sense, Jenny? And do you see the website right there, the New Health Conversation? Jenny and everybody else, you can go to Google, type in, and I hope you did this, sweet tea. Did you go to Google and type in the New Health Conversation? The New. And there it is. You click on the link. Everybody, boom, there's the website. I think what they're referring to is number one here, you'll see it, exclusive podcast with the number one nutrition weight loss researcher in the world, where he explains exactly why this is safe, why it works like no one's ever seen anything like this before. And this website is free for you to go to, and we won't even contact you if you go there, but you can contact us and get a free coach. We have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids. We have people that can't exercise, people on high blood. I mean, it's a whole, that's why we do the free. And the coaches coach you the whole time for free, not just initially, the whole time. So anyway, Jenny, how does that sound to you? Does that make sense? And do you see, you can go see everything at the New Health Conversation for free. I want to make sure, a lot of times people say they can't read that for, I don't know, whatever reason, the New Health Conversation. So again, for any of the new people, we started out talking about he lost 40 pounds in 30 days. He's 65 years old. There was no exercise involved. He's kept it off now for 8 or 9 years. And there's a free medical, you see it right above his head, free medical proof at the New Health Conversation. And then if you like what you see, you can also get free coaching. So now, does anybody else have a question for me about any of this? Because I'm more than happy to go over it again, bit by bit, brick by brick, piece by piece. So who would like to know how it's possible? Or how about April, losing 60 pounds in 3 months? That's averaging 5 pounds a week for 3 straight months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Is that intriguing to any of you? Are there physicians on staff? Jenny from the beach. We have a lot of physicians that are, there's no staff. We're researchers, okay? There's no researchers on staff. I mean, medical doctors. We have medical doctors. We've got RNs, we've got PAs, we have nutritionists, dietitians, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just questioning why you're asking that question. See, the difference with this, Jenny, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. It's already been vetted for safety, okay? For example, it's been vetted for its effectiveness, the truthfulness of it. It's absolutely real. Because essentially, it's not a drug. There's no drugs. It's food, okay? But I'm real curious, why are you not questioning, I have other health says, yeah, well, again, what you can do, Jenny, is you'd want to put, look, we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, and preventing any medical conditions, all right? But we're seeing everything you can imagine, okay? Autoimmune diseases, I mean, people with, now again, we are always on the side of the medical world, right? We always say, look, we're here, we're not a replacement for. But imagine when insulin, the need for insulin in Curtis here, well, look at his A1C. If you're familiar with A1C, it went from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days. It's never been seen before. He had, as a matter of fact, he's on medication, like I think it's metformin or glucophage. They had to cut his meds by 50%, Jenny, in just 30 days. We have people with, all kinds of, and we're not curing, treating, diagnosing, or making any medical proclamations. What happened to my camera here, everybody? Hold on. Something went haywire. Give me one more second here. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that, everybody. I just had a little internet glitch, which happens sometimes. So, Jenny, does that make sense? And again, Jenny, anything that you do have that's a medical, make sure you put it in the chat. Now, the reason I say that, we have people, for example, that work just with people that are like diabetics. We have people that, like, say, have someone with autoimmune or a lot of, menopause in women, or a lot of gut issues, a lot of irritable bowel, Crohn's, colitis, acid reflux, etc. We're not curing, treating, preventing any medical diseases, but we'll share with you what we've seen, okay, in the medical proof. Is weight loss part of what you want to have happen, Jenny? I'm just curious, because that is also obviously a big, big thing for everybody. I'm happy to answer your questions, but again, it's important, and when you go to the website, fill in whatever challenges you're having, because then we'll direct you. And we have lots of doctors. Yes, for sure. Okay. So if you don't mind, how tall are you and how much do you weigh? And I'll give you a reasonable expectation of how rapidly you could lose the weight and keep it off for the rest of your life. You don't have to give me the medical conditions. You can put that in the thing when you go to the website, but I'm just really curious, because obviously if weight may be part of the problem while you're having these other medical issues. That's one of 5'7". Oh, wow. That's not that bad. You're really pretty tall. Okay, so what do you think you should weigh? Give me your number, and then I'll tell you what the real number we would anticipate you could be. Yeah, you're very tall. That is really, we're real close. I would say I'd like 135. That's my number. 135, 40 pounds. Okay, let me explain to you, Jenny. With no exercise, okay? Easily, by the 1st of November, you'll be down 40 pounds. 40 pounds. I'm not kidding you. That's with no exercise at all. Just tell me how excited you'd be. Well, I'll tell you how powerful it is, Jenny. I would anticipate in the first 4 days, you'll lose 6 or 8 pounds just in the first 4 days, safely. The first month, you're probably going to lose at least 20, maybe 25 pounds. It may slow down a little bit the second month, but I would say easily by the 1st of November, easily down 40 pounds. Tell me how much that would excite you. Hello, Flower. Hello, Megan. Hello, have a great day, TR. But again, Jenny, I'm just curious, how much would that excite you? Here's what we're talking about, everybody, because I know there's a lot of people on here that are very, very curious. This is not a diet. It's the only protocol on all, period, in the world. It's published now in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. This is 40 years of research to create this. It's not a diet. There's no products to buy. It's food, special food groups picked out by the top nutrition, weight loss physiologists in the world, and a new way of eating. I'm going to explain all that to you in just a moment. I'm just waiting for someone to get back to me. Jenny, I'm just wondering for the adjective you'd want to use if you could do that by the 1st of November, okay? All right, so for everybody else, what I want to do is I want to explain to you how they did this, okay? This is really important. Also, you need to understand, see right above our head there, visit the New Health Conversation. Hopefully you all can read that. Give me a yes, any of you, just to make sure you can read it. It's a free medical website to go to, and if you go there, we will not contact you. We don't do that. But if you like what you see, notice right above it says free coaching to ensure your success. The coaching is 100% free. I see other people on social media, they want to charge you to buy their app, which is really recipes, and then you get a coach. Recipes? Really? Do you think if recipes work to lose weight, we'd be looking at 4 years at night? We're going to be almost at 90% of Americans overweight and obese in 4 years. Does that sound to you like recipes would work? And there's no medical proof behind it. They seem like nice people. They're giving you opinions. They don't have one damn shred of medical evidence at all. Okay? So, anyway, so Jenny, does that make sense? You know to go to the website and you can get a free coach if that's what you want to do. All right, so everybody else, let me explain to you for the people that are on here now what they did. So first of all, it was invented by the top, they're ranked the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Not by me. I don't want you to believe me. But here's what the researchers did. They had done 100 studies over 40 years. They were paid by, keto, paleo, whatever diets there were, to analyze. In 40 years, they never found a diet where people lost weight and were able to keep it off long term. And 2/3 of everybody on every diet they ever studied gained back more weight than they lost. And all the evidence now out there in the marketplace is saying that, for example, calorie counting is dead. I've even got Harvard Medical School stopped counting calories. They said we've all been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose about a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning this age-old strategy is totally misguided. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. She says, drop the calories notion and concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's exactly what these researchers did. They have no affiliation with Harvard at all, okay? So, what the researchers figured out was that calorie counting is the most ridiculous thing that we ever could have done because the human body has no idea what a calorie is. And I'd love for any of you to put in the chat, does anyone know the medical definition of a calorie? You're all counting them. Calories, your body doesn't know what a calorie is. You can't be hungry because of lack of calories. That's total nonsense, all right? The only thing your body cares about, well, the reason you're alive is for 3 reasons. Air, water, and not calories, nutrition. So the researchers figured, if we're going to come up with something that works, can we give you less food by volume, but give you more nutrition? That was the theory. So here's what they did. They determined foods from your grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, but not calorie counting. On this, there's no calorie counting at all. Only the serving sizes created by the researchers of these foods. But for example, on this protocol, in the first, until you get to your goal, only 30% of what you're going to eat or buy would come from your grocery store. And you're going to get a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Well, what about the other 70%? Aha, here's what made it work. They found other researchers who'd gone around the world for 20 years to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition but smaller quantities of food. So now they had the foods you're going to ingest. Then they invented a new way of eating called protein pacing. It's so advanced that the U.S. Patent Office granted them a registered trademark of this new way of eating. So what did they do? Well, 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these, what the researchers have called the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint, which is the only thing your body cares about, right? That's your breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from the world's most perfect meals, right? 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store, only the world's most perfect meals. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half or 2 hours. Now that really mattered. In other words, it wasn't just like you're getting all this nutrition. It was how much, when, over what period of time. That's what made this work. Do you know that it was so dramatic that the diabetics in this, not only didn't they have insulin spikes, when they measured in a month the need for insulin in the diabetics who were monitoring their blood sugar, right? It came down 41% in a month. But the biggest deal about this, it's a detox. See, the researchers did the most extensive research ever done on weight loss. And they proved through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, this was detoxing her body. Look at her stomach on day 1, look at her stomach on day 30. That's the result of the detox, which they proved medically that herbicides and pesticides were coming out of her body. Secondly, inflammation, which plagues everybody, including you and me, it came down 25% in 30 days. Hunger came down 40% in a month. And the need for insulin, like I just told you before, in the diabetics, came down 41% in a month. Now, I don't want you to believe me. Look at this medical. He's 65 years old. He lost 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124 in 30 days with no exercise. And look at his stomach here. This is making every diet obsolete. Whatever diet you're on now, it's a joke compared to this. You're all excited about a pound a week, am I right? Any of you that want to lose 20 pounds, put it in the chat for me. How long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? How long? I mean, it's just, look at April, everybody. 60 pounds in 3 months. 60 in 3 months, and she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. And then Janet here, she lost 100 pounds. She's kept it off for 12 years. Look at the transformation. You can think it's Photoshop. This is not Photoshop. We don't have time to Photoshop things. Monica, yeah, Monica. Let me show you again. April. Yes, 3 months, Monica. 3, not 4 months, Monica. You misread it. 3 months. 5 pounds a week. But they all are doing this. Look, I mean, you just look at Julie. How about 35 pounds in 37 days, Monica? Look at that. That's like 7 pounds a week. I mean, this is not a diet. It's like nothing any of you have ever done before. You all understand? And the thing is, these results are all published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. So it's safe, it's real, it's medically proven to be safe, and you got to understand, when you get in these big medical journals, their job is to discredit what you're proving. They're not doing you any favors. This is groundbreaking. Any of you that are doing any kind of traditional diet, why? Amel or Keat or Kit Kat, Rico, Jesse, Catherine, Shabs. Are you curious about how they did this? I'm about to tell you. But also, there's a free website you can go to right there, the New Health Conversation. We won't even contact you if you go there. And on top of that, if you go there and like what you see, you can contact us and you get a free coach the whole time. The coaching is 100% free. We got coached. You can't do this without coaching. You've never done anything like this before. And it's based on food. There are no products and a new way of eating. There are no products to buy. It's not lotions, potions, pills. No. It's food. Oh, Jess. It took me 6 months to lose 30 pounds. I'm freaking out right now. I hope in a good way, Jesse. Are you? Are you? I mean, it's so crazy. Let me show you another example. Okay, look at this. So husband and wife, all right? Michael, 15 pounds, Sheila, 10 pounds in 11 days. But look at this. They each lost over 60 pounds in 5 months, and they've kept it off for 2.5 years. What do you think about that, Jesse? Look at that. Look at the change. That's not Photoshop. That is real. This is not a diet. Period. End of the story. No. And you're not going to count any calories. No way. No way. Are you excited, Jesse, about this? Well, yes, I am. I wish I lost it faster. But also, look at what's going on. Look at her stomach. No loose skin. Or this lady, look at this. 200 pounds in a year. And she's kept, look at that. That's not Photoshopped. Where's the loose skin? She had no surgery of any kind. Any of you, look at that. Is that just wonderful? Amazing? Happy? We're so happy for her? Yes, see, look at my point. You're losing about 6 months. So you lost, you did. So 6 months. So 6 months. Oh my God, 24 weeks. You lost about 1 pound a week. That's typical. But Jesse, this is not a diet. Do you understand that? It's not a diet. The main reason to do this is to detoxify the body. Because in case you didn't all know, we're all suffering from this new medical syndrome that's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. The T is for toxins caused by the lack of nutrition in our food, causing you to be overweight and stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, of a new medical condition. Peter Greenlaw, who's that? Oh, that's me. I did discover. So I'm not just some guy. I've written 4 best-selling books. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I did 20 shows on PBS and over 1,500 live lectures around the world, where before COVID, I wouldn't have even been on social media. So in one sense, it was a blessing in disguise. It's now opened me up to the entire world. Jesse, I want to know more. Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. Jesse, if you don't mind, do you still have weight to lose? I'd just like to know how tall you are and how much you still weigh and where you'd like to weigh, and I'll give you an honest opinion. But remember, the main reason to do this is not to lose weight, it's to detox. By the way, Jesse, you need to understand none of these people lost any water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. They actually were Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise. Not that the research is against exercise, Jesse, but it was they didn't want that to be an outlier, if that makes sense to you, okay? 5'2", 140, my goal is 130. Okay, well, what if I told you, Jesse, this will blow your mind. I'd like you to be no more than 120. That's 25 pounds. Jesse, in the first 4 days, you'll probably lose between 6 and 8 pounds. So let's say the 25 pounds, let's see, 20, I want you to lose 25. So you'd be 120. Easily, let's say, Jesse, 5 or 6 weeks, max with no exercise at all. I'm serious. That's just so typical of what we see. But let me explain to you how they did it and why it works so dramatically. So first of all, no calorie counting. Jesse, none. They don't want you counting calories. Calories are ridiculous. The body has no idea what it is. It's a waste of time. So what they did, they said the key to everything was by being able to, can we give you less food, but find foods with high levels of nutrition? That's exactly what they did. So they put together the grocery list. 30% of what you would buy, Jesse, you'd buy from a grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of calorie amounts, they're giving you serving sizes. Does that make sense? So if it's a protein, how many ounces? If it was a vegetable, is it a third or a half a cup? It's all laid out. It's all handed to you. We give that to you for free. The coaches, because they have nothing to sell you. They're teaching you because they got taught, they got coached, and we coach people for free. Okay, free. There's no gimmicks, right? Now, the other 70% of the food that you would consume, Jesse, you can't buy at your grocery store. It actually comes from other researchers who'd spent 20 years going around the world to areas like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. Remember, that was the goal. Can we give you less food? That was the researchers, but give you more nutrition. Because, see, your body doesn't know what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. Jesse, you've never been hungry for a calorie in your entire life. You're alive because of three things: air, water, and nutrition. And what happens on all these diets, Jesse, and why it took you so long, because you were slowing down as you began to lose weight, 25 to 40% of it was your lean muscle mass. It's probably why you stalled out, for example, because you got to a point where the body says, no more. In order for us to continue, we're not going to burn any more muscle. We're going to slow down your metabolism, which is exactly what happens to everybody. And then they end up gaining all their weight back because their metabolism slowed down. Not on this. They measured lean muscle increased 6 to 9% with no exercise at all. So now they had the foods. What did she do? 5 days a week, Jesse, you'd have 4 meals a day. I know it's blasphemy on a diet. This is not a diet. You'd start your day with these exotic foods from around the world. That's breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. Then 2 days a week, no food from your grocery store. Don't panic. You're only going to consume those exotic foods around the world, but this time you're going to eat 8 times a day. You're going to eat every hour and a half to 2 hours, okay? This is until you lose the weight, until we get you down to 120, right? Now, what was so amazing about this, and the reason it's not a diet, they did the most comprehensive medical evaluation of a weight loss protocol in the world. They did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, liver enzymes, a battery of tests: blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, right? First thing they noticed, Jesse, was this was a detox. They proved through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, this is removing chemicals from the body that were being stored in her stomach. That's day one. Every one of you are storing chemicals in your fat cells, whether you know it or not. And that causes those fat cells to expand. It's why people complain not just about how much weight they have, but how much fat they still have in their body that you want to get rid of. But you're not getting rid of the fat. You're shrinking the fat. You can't burn fat on a diet or exercise, Jesse. No, it doesn't happen. We're born with a certain number of fat cells. We die with a certain number of fat cells, and they can expand or contract. Well, obviously, you can see how much they contract. Do you know, Jesse, most women on this lose a whole dress size in the first 7 days with no exercise? Can you even believe that? The other thing, so the first thing they found, this is a detox. Number two, this lowered inflammation in the body by 25%. Never seen before, okay? Third, they were able to maintain. She lost that weight 8 or 9 years ago. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds, Jesse, in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. And then you look at someone like Janet, who lost 100 pounds and has kept it off for 12 years. 12 years. This is real. This is not some gimmick, okay? And so, Jess, what I would suggest you do, or anybody, if you want to know more, go to Google, type in the New Health Conversation. The reason this is the actual website. I want to show you there's nothing to buy on there. No, we're not. Look, go there, then it goes to the link, the New Health Conversation. There's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. The only thing there is the medical proof, including number one is an exclusive podcast with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Number three are the actual medical published studies that you can go and see, not a scientific paper. This wasn't done on mice or rats or in a petri dish. This is on human beings. Some of these studies started 13 years ago. That's how long it takes to do these kind of studies. This will change the world. Anything you ever think about any diet ever again is changed as of this moment in this second in time. So Jesse, does that make sense to you now? Do you understand how powerful this could be for you, Jesse? But remember, Jesse, the goal here for all of you is not, can we get the weight off you? That's like a joke for us, right? It's, teaching you how to keep the weight off for the rest of your life. I mean, my God, we had a guy 65 years old, 40 pounds in a month, 40, and loses 52 inches. Are you kidding me? And then a younger guy, Andy, 45 pounds in 60 days, 60 inches. And then Christopher here, now this was only 29 days, 43.7 pounds. I found out after 30 days, he actually ended up losing 45 or 46 pounds. So it's not just one person. Every person doing this, I mean, look at Ken here. He lost 34 pounds in 29 days. Look at this, he lost more than a pound a day. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Look at his body. That's not Photoshopped. Women, imagine ladies losing a whole dress size in a week with no exercise. They didn't let anybody. Now, you certainly can exercise, don't hear me wrong, but in the studies, they eliminated exercise. Otherwise, you would have said, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with that. Do you all get that this is life-changing? Good, Jesse. And Jesse, do you feel, host Cheryl, I'm going to invite her, do you feel like this, my podcast, have you seen anyone else on social media, I'm serious, giving you medical proof? Has anyone showed you any medical proof at all until today? And are you encouraged by the fact it is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies? Does that make a difference to you? The reason I like to ask these questions is, especially when I have a live audience, it helps me as I do the presentations because so few people believe this is real. I see them coming on and they're on for 2 seconds and they jump off. I know that's the nature of scrolling, but we're talking about changing people's lives here. We're talking about a disgrace that people are being hoodwinked by all these people that are telling them things that just, there's no medical background. Like this time-restricted eating where people don't eat for 16 hours and they eat for 8. The medical research on it, like the studies now done, they said that in 3-month studies, like in the Journal of the American Medical Association, people gained no benefit from it, lost 2 to 3.5 pounds, and the weight they lost was lean muscle mass. This is not my opinion. I'm not against, I mean, you can do whatever diet you want, but they don't work. You can't possibly think that diets work at all because they don't. So Jesse, you understand if you go there, then you get to select. I mean, you'd scroll down and get a coach and fill out the paperwork and they'll get back to you. I can't promise it'll be today, but it probably won't be. We do work 7 days a week, but it depends on how many. I'm probably going to do a couple more of these live podcasts yet today, so it depends on how busy we get. But again, you're going to get Jesse, if you do it, free coaching, free consultation. The coaches have nothing to sell you. You're going to get a list that you take to your grocery store, and then they'll show you how to order the other foods directly from the suppliers. But look at Jesse, you're also going to get this, is what the medical researchers, this is what they gave the patients. And each one of these yellows, I know you can't read them, they're daily videos from the researchers telling you this is why it's safe, this is what we saw. I mean, it's so much more than weight loss. That's why it's like the least important thing that we emphasize, and yet it's the 100% that most of the people that are coming on here. But imagine if you can lose that kind of weight and be healthy and lose no water weight and gain 6 to 9. I'm a patient person, laugh out loud. Okay, all right. Well, if you fill it out today, there's a chance that a coach will get back to you yet even today, Jesse. But are you excited and encouraged, and do you have a belief level now? And even if you're a little bit skeptical, it's okay. But you got to understand, when you have peer-reviewed human trial studies, it's called irrefutable medical proof, meaning it's already been vetted by the top medical doctors in the entire world, right? Yes, I'm excited. Good, Jesse. Well, just imagine how you're going to feel in November at, let's say, 120 pounds. Or I think that's what I told you. I wanted you to be like 120, 125 at the most. So who else would like to ask me a question? Hello, Catherine. Hello, Roj Singh 8. Again, we have people, they drop off. I think it's, do you think, Jesse, that people don't believe it's real because it's so out of the norm? When they're looking at someone losing 21 pounds in 30 days, do they think it's unhealthy? I mean, what was your first impression when you saw that? I'm real curious. The new people coming on, are you curious or are you thinking, well, this isn't real? Because if that's not real, then you're on the wrong podcast. This is live, everybody. It's not pre-recorded. I'm here live. I'll answer any questions that you want. But I'm just always curious why so few people actually stick around to see the medical proof. We have medical proof. It's backed by 10, well, here's the beginning part. He shed 40 pounds in 30 days. It's 100% real. He's kept it off for good. There's no BS diet. It's just a revolutionary weight loss protocol proven in 10 peer-reviewed human trials and published in the top medical journals. You'll get, well, number one, there's a free medical proof at the New Health Conversation, and you also get free coaching. Free coaching, everybody. Free. How much is the coaching? $0. How much is the consultation? $0. You don't buy anything from the researchers, from the coaches. They have nothing to sell you. You're going to buy 30% of your food from the grocery store and 70% from these other researchers who you can't buy those kind of foods at your grocery store. They come from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, and they represent huge amounts of nutrition in smaller quantities of food. So anybody that's coming on now, are you curious about how she lost 5 pounds a week? 5 pounds a week. And she only had 30 pounds to lose. So who would like to know how she did this? Or how about April? How about 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody? 60 pounds in three months with no exercise. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Now, if you think it's Photoshopped, you're on the wrong podcast. Don't listen to us. But what makes this so... Well, oh, the other thing I should tell you, Jesse, that I need to tell everybody, so 70% of what the food you're going to buy from these researchers in the first month, Jesse, 100% money back guarantee. Now, the 30% of the food you're buying from the grocery store, they're not going to do that. But the other 70% you're spending, which you're going to be around probably what you spent last month, total grocery bill, because only 30% you're at your grocery store. The other 70% are going to them. They give you 100% money back guarantee. No questions asked. So what are you risking, Jesse? Nothing. Does that make sense? Nothing. For all of you. Because when you go to the website, Jesse, it'll say 100% money back guarantee, but I want to clarify that. The 100% is only from these researchers who are supplying you with these foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. What you're buying from the, because you're basically buying a month's worth of food. That's what you're doing. 30% from your grocery store, and they're probably not going to give you a refund if it doesn't work. And Jesse, nothing's 100%. I would never say that. But it's so, you think she wants a refund after losing 60 pounds in 3 months? And she's kept it off now for 8 or 9 years? 8 or 9 years? So the point is that we all got coached. Now, granted, I am a nutritional researcher. I'm not trying to brag, but I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I wrote 4 best-selling books for some of the top medical doctors in the world. I discovered this new medical syndrome that's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. I've done over 1,500 lectures around the world, including 20. I've spoken at hospitals and universities. I was a keynote at Autism One in Chicago 2 years in a row, one of the largest autism conferences in the entire world. And I did 20 shows on public broadcasting. But I'll be honest with you, for 21 of my 23 years in the medical world, it meant 0, even though we had before and afters, because nothing was published in these peer-reviewed medical journals. Now we get doctors left and right coming out of the woodwork that are joining because are helping their patients because they've got the assurance that it's safe, it's real, it works, it's not based on hype. See, you hear all this stuff on television. Well, we have a scientifically proven ingredient. This is they did a clinical evaluation. That doesn't mean a damn thing. That's just marketing jibbity jock. If what they had worked, they'd have a peer-reviewed human trial study published in these big medical journals. So that's how you're all being deceived. And how could you not be deceived when you're looking at right now, Johns Hopkins Medical School estimates that in 4 years, 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese. Does that sound any of you like it works? Or would you like to know how did she lose 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days? And then you look at a 65-year-old man, 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. No one was allowed to exercise. No exercise at all. And then Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. And then Ken here, he lost 34 pounds in 29 days. Look at the change in his body composition. This is not a diet, everybody. No diet would ever produce anything even close to this. Because you've all heard, oh my God, it's unhealthy to lose more than a pound a week on a diet. Yes, it is. You know why? Because all the diets, when they study, 25 to 40% of the pounds you're actually losing are lean muscle mass. That's a given. It's not up for debate. Now, I'll go one step farther. You know, a lot of people, maybe some of you are taking the shots. We're not against the shots. They're helping diabetics and people that are morbidly obese. But let's do a comparison to this protocol versus the shot. Now, this is the New England Journal of Medicine. This was a 68-week study on men and women. 68, that's a year and 4 months. And what were the results? After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. And they went on to say these weight loss results are clinically relevant reductions in body weight. 32 pounds in 68 weeks. And she loses 21 pounds in 30 days. And Ken loses 34 pounds in 29 days. He lost more than they did in 68 weeks, and he lost it in 29 days. All we're doing is presenting the evidence. You make a decision. You can hang on these crazy, stupid diets, counting calories. None of them have ever been proven to keep weight off long term. And again, it's not my opinion. I've got one of the big studies here. Let me find it. Here it is. Why you shouldn't count calories. Not me. These are other researchers. The truth is, calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. Not on this. He gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. Look at his body. Look at the change in his face, in his chest, everywhere. Now, you can think it's Photoshopped, and if you do, you're on the wrong podcast. You should you go follow somebody else, not us. We only give you medical facts, only medical proof. Nothing else matters, right? So who else would like to ask me a question about how in the world are they doing this? She only had 30 pounds to lose, and she lost 21 pounds in the first month, and she's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. Who wants to know how she did this? Anybody? Or how did Julie lose 35 pounds in 37 days? April, 60 pounds in 3 months. And oh, by the way, Janet lost 100 pounds and kept it off for 12 years. 12 years. Up to you. You can do whatever you want to do. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. This is going to change the world. It could change your world. If you're open, look, you see right above her head, it says the New Health Conversation. Free website. Free website. You can go to that website and see the medical proof for yourself. The New Health Conversation. Why wouldn't you go there and at least see the free? If you go to that website, we're not going to contact you. We don't need to do that. Why would we need to? The medical proof is the medical proof. It stands on its own. And I'm going to show everybody right now. If you want, you can go to Google at any time. Remember, it's got to be The New Health Conversation. You can see it spelling it out for us. There's the link it'll take you to. That'll take you right to the website. There's nothing on that website to buy. The only thing there is the medical proof, including number one, is an exclusive podcast with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the entire world. We're not going to, if you go there, we're not going to contact you. We rely on the medical proof. But if you like what you see, you can scroll down and it says right above our head, free coaching. The coaching is 100% free for all of you, free. I wish this was true. 60 pounds in 3 months is 4 months dedicated to Weight Watchers for years, only 21 pounds. Yeah, Sadie. No, what do you mean? I wish this was true. Are you kidding me, Sadie? My mom went to Weight Watchers for years. It is absolutely true. The average weight loss on this is a minimum of 5 pounds a week, Sadie, a minimum. But here's the difference, what Weight Watchers doesn't have. We have 10 published, peer-reviewed in the biggest medical journals in the world, in the Obesity Journal, in Frontiers in Physiology, in Nutrients, in Nutrition Journal, in Frontiers in Food, and in Nature Communications, the number one medical journal in the world. So Sadie, this is real. Here's another one, Sadie. Mom and daughter cover Women's World Magazine, June 9th. You can go look it up. The daughter is a nurse. She's 57 years old. The mom will be 81 in October. I coached both these women. The daughter lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom has lost 104 pounds in a little over a year, and they both kept it off for 3 years. With all due respect, weight losses, it doesn't work. I saw my mom go for years and years. My mom died of obesity. So Sadie, I realize you can be as skeptical as you want, but why not go to the website and see the medical proof for yourself? See, that would be, I would agree with you, but you don't understand. No, they're losing that kind of weight. And only 21 pounds, not in a week, you didn't say. Oh, 2 pounds a week. Yeah, well, that'd be at best. But also the other thing, Sadie, you didn't even hear me explain to you what it is. It's a detox. Weight Watchers is not a detox. It's a joke. It doesn't work long term. Do you understand? I got people that have been going there for 10 years and they get to a point where they can't lose another ounce. Oh, they go every week and the meetings are fun and all that. But it's not medically proven. It's nonsense. It's hot air. Where's their peer-reviewed human trial studies? They don't have any. This was proven to remove herbicides and pesticides, Scotchgard and Teflon from her body. Look at her stomach. She gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. There's no diet. No diets are working. Carvet, Ray, how does it work? I'm going to explain to all of you. Sadie, just bear with me. Let me explain to you what they did. First of all, Sadie, this was developed by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. The same thing, Carvet, Ray. They had done, listen to this, Sadie, including Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, 100 studies over 40 years. They never found, whether it was Weight Watchers or whatever, anybody ever lost weight and kept it off long term. All the medical research says that. Right here, let me read to you from the science behind why diets don't work. That would include Weight Watchers. Let me explain to you what they said. Despite all the ads that say otherwise, it's very rare for people to lose weight and keep it off for good. Not only that, 2/3 of people who diet regain more weight than they originally lost, ending up at a higher weight than where they started. In a review of more than 30 long-term studies, they show that going on a diet actually causes weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. But let me back that up with Weight Watchers included in this big study done in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Sadie, listen to this. It was a year study. Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, paleo diet, keto, all diets. It was called Comparison of Weight Loss Among Named Diet Programs. You want to hear about the ineffectiveness of diets? After 68 weeks on all these diets, the most amount of weight loss anybody lost in a year was 16 pounds, and 25 to 40% of the weight loss was lean muscle mass, period. Including Weight Watchers is mentioned right in the studies. They looked at 7,286 people. So Sadie, I know you're doing as good as you can possibly do on that. It's pitiful. Those results are pitiful compared to this. And this is a detox. And people lowered for example, the need for insulin in the diabetics came down 41% in a month. Hunger came down 40% in a month. So let's talk about what's so different about this. First thing they did, counting calories. Points is nothing more than counting calories. Your body can't count points. Your body can't count calories. The only thing your body cares about, Sadie or Carvet, is 3 things to keep you alive: air, water, and not points or calories, nutrition. So the researchers who created this, that's what they did. They put together a food list that you would get. You'd take it to your grocery store. Nothing to do with points, and nothing to do with points or calorie counting. Only serving sizes and very specific foods. The researchers, they're the top people in the world, picked it out. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. So instead of giving you calorie counts or points, they give you serving sizes. Because their key here was they realized the reason all diets, whether it's Weight Watchers, et cetera, 25 to 40% of what you're losing is lean muscle. That's what they proved in these studies. Yeah, the 16 pounds people lost in a year, 25 to 40%, including Weight Watchers, was lean muscle mass. Hello? That's why people stall out, whether it's Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, I'm not picking on Weight Watchers, none of them work long term. My goodness, Sadie, they're projecting in 4 years, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4 years. Does that sound to you like Weight Watchers is working? Listen, if Weight Watchers worked, if it really worked, they'd have $1 trillion company. Trillion. Go to Barnes & Noble, look at how many diets we have. How come we keep adding diets every single year? Because none of these diets ever work long term. Never, ever, ever, ever. I see my mom lose 20 pounds at Weight Watchers and gain 30 back. Over and over. My mom dieted herself to death. It wasn't just Weight Watchers. She did Jenny Craig. She did the grapefruit diet and the cabbage diet and whatever. I hate diets. So you all can do whatever you want. But this is what these researchers did. They picked out these foods, but only 30% of what you would consume or buy from your grocery store. The other 70% that you can't get at Weight Watchers or at your grocery store came from other researchers who've gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but very small amounts of food. Now, wait till you hear this. Then, based on these new food groups, 30% from your grocery store, organic, and 70% from these foods around the world, they put together a new way of eating that's actually a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office called protein pacing. So she had 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, starting with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. Then 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store, and only these exotic foods around the world, but this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half for 2 hours. And they did, listen, this is the first study ever done, the most comprehensive medical examination ever done. They looked at the first thing they proved, which no diet, including Weight Watchers, has ever proven, to remove any toxins from the body. Whether you know it, any of you, you're storing chemicals inside your fat cells. That's why you complain about not just how much weight you've gained, but how much fat you have in your body. Because as you drink and breathe and eat the chemicals, and this new medical syndrome called TDOS that everyone on here has, including me, called T for toxins in our fat cells, D for the nutritional deficiency of our food, causing us to be overweight and stressed, registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Peter Greenlaw, who's that? Oh, that's me. I did discover it. They proved this is removing chemicals from the body. That's why her stomach shrank so much. Do you know most women on this, Kravit or Sadie, lose a whole dress size in 7 days with no exercise? You trying to tell me that happens on any diet? Forget it. They measured, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. They actually were Fitbits to prove they didn't exercise. Now, not that they were against exercise, but they had to eliminate it. Otherwise, you say it was diet and exercise. So number one, they proved it's a detox. Number two, they measured it for the first time ever. No diet's ever produced anything like this. Inflammation came down 25% in 30 days. People's hunger came down 40% in a month. 40%. And their blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all came down dramatically. Look at him. This is a diabetic. Look at his A1C. Went from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days. Ask a diabetic about how dramatic that is. No diets ever. I'm not picking on Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers. All I'm saying is the medical evidence is clear. There is no diet out there that works, and this is not a diet. You're all kidding yourselves. Maybe you're losing 1 or 2 pounds a week. Maybe. He lost 10, he's 65 years old. He lost 10.2 pounds a week and 52 inches. Look at his stomach. Anybody, I'm open. Please show me another diet like this. It's not a diet. Does everyone get it now? So carve it. Do you get it? You understand what they did? It's not a diet. And all of you have the opportunity. Well, let me show you in Google. You can all go to it's free to go to the website. We won't even contact you. The New Health, we're scientists. We don't have anything to sell. We don't sell you anything. The New Health Conversation. And there, you see, look, there's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. The only thing there is the medical proof for all of you to see, including number one, an exclusive podcast with the number one rated weight loss nutrition physiologist expert in the world. They created this, not me. And look, 3, the medical studies. Show me Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, do it. Show me peer-reviewed human trial studies on any of those. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Don't give me a scientific paper, oh, they did a clinical trial. That doesn't mean a damn thing. Unless it's done on human beings and published in these major medical journals. That's why no drug ever gets approved without what? A peer-reviewed human trial published study. Does that make sense, everybody? So I know I get really animated, and probably I made some people mad because they jumped off. But that's just the reality of it. The reality of it is diets don't work. The reality is, I don't care what diet you're on, somebody try and prove to me a diet that actually works. So again, he shed 40 pounds in 30 days. It's 100% real. He's kept it off for good. And it's published in 10 of the biggest medical studies in the world. What do you think? He shed 40 pounds in just 30 days. You think it's fake? It's not fake. It's absolutely real. It's backed. It's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. So what do you all think about this? Do you think it's fake? Do you think we photoshopped it? And look at this woman. 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days. So Carvette, are you still with us? Did you see this? Does that make sense to your Carvette? I think I explained it all. Obviously, I made some people mad because they all jumped off. They always do because they protect their pet peeves. But they have no medical proof. They're telling me like whether it's, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig Weight Watchers, 1 to 2 pounds a week, and that works. It's nonsense. Again, if any of those things work, they'd have $1 trillion company. Think about it. In 4 years, they estimate 90% of you are going to be overweight or obese. Do you think whether it was Weight Watchers or anything, if any of that stuff worked, they'd have $1 trillion company? Why do we have so many diets? Because none of them work, so they keep inventing new kinds of diets. So again, who would like to ask me a question about how is this even possible? Igor, Dima, and Nilulu. Hello, and Karen the Jen, and Sue Ashley. Because I never can tell if you're on or off. I see, 2 people, 10 people, 4 people, 46 people. I never know, what's happening. So who else would like to ask me a question? Anybody? About how they did this. It's not a diet, everybody. It has nothing to do with counting calories. They weren't even allowed to exercise, and yet she lost basically 5 pounds a week, 38 inches in just 30 days. So Stephanie, hello. I think it's Stephanie. Sunlight. Stephanie A. Sunlight. I'm not quite sure what you mean by sunlight. I think your name's Stephanie. I got that part right. But what's sunlight? Can you tell me what sunlight means? I'm just curious. I'm a nosy person. I get that. But what is sunlight? Is that a question? Are you curious about how she did this? Is it real? Is it fake? Is it photoshopped? Is it not real? Is this a live podcast? Yes. Is it an infomercial? No. And the only thing we ever present is real medical proof. Hello, June Bug. Hello, Joe Han B. But again, Stephanie, I'm just very, very curious as to what sunlight means. Let's see, Stephanie. Let me just see here. Oh, wow. Very good. You've got over 2,000 followers. That's good. But I'm not quite sure about what sunlight means. Maybe you can enlighten me here. I'm just curious. Curious minds want to know. And I don't know if you want to lose weight, gain weight, whatever, because we have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids. We have people with heart transplant, kidney transplant, people with no gallbladders. So we're not treating, curing, preventing, or diagnosing any medical diseases whatsoever. So I'm just curious, Stephanie, would you like to know how she did this? Just give me a yes in the comment, and I'll be more than happy to go through it again. I always wait for just a few more people to come on so I don't have to repeat it so many. So yes, you'd like to know. Okay, Stephanie. So Stephanie, if you don't mind, I'm just curious, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but how tall are you? How much do you weigh currently? And what would you like to weigh? Because I'll give you a realistic timeline about how rapidly and safely you can lose it before I go through how would you do it? How would you do what I'm going to tell you? So if you don't mind, that would be great, just because, again, it'll give you some perspective. Because I just had a lady on earlier and said, I wish this was true. I'm doing Weight Watchers. Well, there's your first problem. It's not even Weight Watchers. No diets work. There's absolutely no proof. Even while we're waiting, Stephanie, let me read you this from Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. This is a big study Medicare did. Diets are not the answer. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than lost on any diet. 2/3 gaining more weight than they lost. That would include Weight Watchers, which was included in a 12-month study. 12 months, right? They looked at 7,286 people, and they looked at all the popular diets across the world. And they found in a year's time, the most amount of weight loss that anybody lost on a diet in a year was 16 pounds, and 25 to 40% of the weight they actually lost was lean muscle mass. Regardless, all the people gained back all their weight and more. This is published in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Okay, so let's get into exactly how she did it. So first of all, who invented it? It was created by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, Stephanie. They're rated the #1 weight loss researchers in the entire world. They had done 100 studies on human beings over 40 years and never found a diet where people lost weight and were able to keep it off. If that makes sense. So they said, what's the fundamental problem with all diets? There's some form of calorie counting, reducing calories. The problem with that is your body has no idea what a calorie even is. I would tell you this, that I've done over 1,000 of these podcasts in the last year and a half. I do 3 or 4 a day, 7 days a week. You do the math. I've had 12 people ever give me the definition of a calorie. So counting calories is the most ridiculous thing we've ever come up with. It has no bearing on controlling your weight. The researchers prove that the reason we're alive, it's pretty simple. Air, water, and what? Not calories, nutrition. So what they said, the problem with the diet, when you reduce the amount of food you consume, you reduce the amount of nutrition, the brain thinks you're starving to death, so it immediately begins to turn your muscles into fuel. You lose weight initially, then it goes to a crawl, then it stops, and then the weight gradually starts to come back. Why? Because you've not only slowed down your metabolism, but you've also slowed down your own immune system. So you're making yourself unhealthy by being on any of these diets. So the researchers said in order to change this, what we'd have to do, okay, Stephanie, great, thanks very much. So let me go one step farther. So where do you think you should be? Now, don't give me a diet number. I'm talking about a number. You get there, you'd be screaming at the top of your lungs, oh my God, oh my God. Because Stephanie, you're going to lose at least a dress size in the first week, in the first 7 days. That's if you don't exercise. So I'm going to keep talking, but give me the number that you think you should be, okay? Now, so Stephanie, what they did, they simply said, we're going to pick foods with one quality, the highest level of nutrition. So that you'd get a grocery list, Stephanie, you actually would take it to your grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits and vegetables, no calorie counting. They give you actually serving sizes, okay? This is very important because all the foods that they were giving you the amounts for were based on the amount of nutrition that would be there. So for example, let's say you did steak or hamburger. They tell you they want it to be grass-fed and it has to be what's called finished. So not just grass-fed, it also has to be finished. If it's vegetables or carbohydrates, they have to be complex carbs. It's all laid out. You get all that. Our coaches give you that list for free. It's the same list we use, but more importantly, it's exactly what they used in the medical trials. You got that? So that's only 30% of what you would buy. So if you took your grocery list, Stephanie, last month, only 30% you're going to buy this month from your grocery store, from that list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables with serving sizes. The other 70% of the money you have left goes to, you can't buy at your grocery store. It comes from other researchers who've gone around the world, Stephanie, to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food. Now, here's the part that's going to blow your mind. They invented a new way of eating that was so profound that the U.S. Patent Office granted them a registered trademark for this new way of eating called protein pacing. Now, what the heck does that mean? Here's what they did. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started her day with these exotic foods around the world that the researchers have called the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. Let me pause for just a moment. So unless you were on a prescription for low iron or low calcium, you need no other supplements. These foods represent massive amounts of nutrition, okay? That's why they call them the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint. So 5 days a week, that's her breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner from these world's most perfect meals. And it has to be 4 meals. They tried doing 2 meals a day, it didn't work. They tried doing breakfast and skipping lunch and doing dinner, and they tried skipping breakfast and doing lunch and dinner. It never worked. So the timing, the pacing of when you were getting the nutrition really mattered. So this is until you lose the weight, by the way. 2 days a week, no food from the grocery store, Stephanie, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, you'd be eating 8 times a day. Yeah, you're eating every hour and a half for 2 hours. The diabetics on this, no one had insulin spikes, but here's the great news. This was the most comprehensive study ever done on weight loss, nutrition, and health. And what they did, Stephanie, they measured for the first time ever, they did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis. They measured inflammation. They measured glucose. They measured cholesterol, triglycerides, liver enzymes. Massive study medically. So the first thing they proved about this, it's a detox. They absolutely proved unequivocally that this was removing herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard from our very fat cells. See, in case you didn't know, we're all storing chemicals inside our fat cells, okay? You got it? And so what they proved, this was removing that. Look at her stomach, Stephanie, on day 1. Look at her stomach on day 30. That's with no exercise at all. Yes, Stephanie, that's going to change. See, that's absolutely going to change. That's no, it doesn't work. Okay, that's why you're stuck or why you're not. This works. So Stephanie, just trust us. Because Stephanie, you understand, it's published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. Okay, so this is something going to be totally different for you. Okay. Now, the other things they proved, Stephanie, inflammation came down 25%. I already told you, you're going to lose a whole dress size in a week. In a week, not a month, a week with no exercise. You are literally going to shrink because your body's going to be detoxing. The other thing that's so significant about this, that picture, Stephanie's 8 or 9 years old. They've all kept the weight up for 8 or 9 years. Stephanie, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. And I don't know if I showed you Janet's picture. She lost 100 pounds. She's kept it off for 12 years. 12 years, 100 pounds. And all these people, the same thing, like Julie. 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at that, Stephanie. 35 pounds in 37 days. You have to understand that the timing of the nutrition really mattered. And they got a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, proving that. Okay, you got that now? So again, the idea here is that you would go to that website if you want, Stephanie. Well, let me type it in for everybody to see. You can go, it's free to go there, the New Health Conversation. You'll see it, type out there in a moment. It'll go to the link in Google. There it is. Click on the New Health Conversation, and there's the medical website. Nothing to buy, only the medical proof, including an exclusive podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition researcher in the world, and there are the medical studies. We won't contact you, Stephanie, if you go there. We don't do that. We don't need to. There's the medical proof. You either believe it or you don't. If you do, if you have questions, of course, you get a free coach, and the coach will coach you the whole time. The consultation's free. The coaching is free. They'll call you. They'll text you. They'll email. You guys work all that out. And that's really it, everybody. But this is going to change. This is going to change the world. It's going to change everything that we all thought about: diet, exercise, nutrition. Listen, Stephanie, not to impress you, I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books, some of the top medical doctors in the world. I did 20 shows on public broadcasting and over 1,500 live lectures in hospitals, in universities, and towns. They even flew me to China for 2 weeks to lecture. But this meant nothing without these peer-reviewed human trial studies, which just came out in about a year and a half ago. And now all the medical people are jumping on this because we have the medical proof. Does that make sense, Stephanie? And again, Stephanie, obviously you're going to have a real coach person to talk to, but trust me, your 1 to 2 meals a day currently is not going to serve you. You're not going to get these kind of results. And again, I don't want to lie to you and tell you, oh yeah, you can do 1 to 2 meals. No, it doesn't work like that. But Stephanie, that's only until you lose, I'll tell you simple maintenance is. I've been on maintenance for 23 years, right? Every morning I have basically the world's most perfect meal for breakfast. I already had lunch, and I'm going to have dinner a little bit later. And then every couple months, not weeks, couple months, I do another 48 hours of having the 8 meals a day, only those foods from around the world, nothing from my grocery store, because I want to detox. The main reason to do this is to detox. The weight loss is just a throw-in. But honestly, Stephanie, how excited would you be if in the first week you drop a whole drop? I'll tell you how powerful it is, Stephanie. In the first 4 days, you'll probably lose 6 or 8 pounds. And it's not water weight. It's not water weight. How much would that incentivize you, I should say, or excite you? Would that excite you a lot? I think you're saying yes to the fact you'd be pretty excited if you could lose a whole dress size in a week. Stephanie, look, I don't want you to believe me. I don't want you to trust me. What I want you to trust is the medical proof. That's what makes us different than anybody else. Stephanie, are you aware of anybody else you've seen on social media showing you any peer-reviewed human trial study? See, don't let them tell you a scientific paper, a clinical trial. That doesn't mean anything. Unless it's published in a major medical journal, it means zero. It has no credibility whatsoever. It's interesting, but that's it. It has no bearing in the medical world. No drug, for example, ever gets approved without peer-reviewed human trial studies published in these big medical journals. This is why this is so game-changing. Yeah, I would be amazed. I get it, Stephanie. So Stephanie, you're just a little bit excited to go to the website and see what's there. And again, Stephanie, 10th time, we're not going to contact you. Here's my point. Unless I'm lying to you, we rely on the medical proof. And we hope that will You convince yourself. We're not here to convince you. We're not here to sell you. And again, Stephanie, I would say, I'll go there. Great. But Stephanie, tell me how great you would feel, okay, if, let's say, maximum, by November 1st, you'd be 120 pounds. Would that pretty much excite you? Would that get you pretty revved up? But you got to understand, it's sustainable. That's what's so cool. And you're making yourself healthier at the same time. Would that just be unbelievably amazing? 1M2 Sing, hello. Oh, Stephanie, thank you very, very much. That would be very, very nice. See, Stephanie, we're all part of this movement. Granted, I did start at the New Health Conversation, but you'd be amazed, Stephanie, what happens is everybody, then they want to help their sister or their coworker or whatever. Because obviously, if you, hello, I'm saying hello to you, 1M2 Sing. But Stephanie, you can imagine, when you get to 120, do you think some of your girlfriends are going to ask you, what the heck are you doing? Do you think they're going to notice the difference? And so we have all these people that are volunteering to be coaches because they want to help their friends or their family or whoever it is. And we of course, I get it, Stephanie. So did I pretty much, do you have a general understanding, Stephanie? But again, you're going to learn a lot more by going to the website and watching the podcast. And then also there's a much longer, about a 20-minute version of exactly what you're doing daily, et cetera. And then if you decide you like what you see, scroll down and get a free coach. I do. Okay, I do. Good. You're getting it. That's wonderful. So who else would like to ask me a question? Like I said, Stephanie, you know what I tell women all the time? You know what the most expensive part of this is, Stephanie? It's not the food or the exotic you're going to buy. It's the new wardrobe you have to buy. I'm not kidding you. Because imagine if you lose a whole dress size in a week, where do you think you're going to be in a month or 2 months? And you can see, look at Julie, look at the transformation. Look at that. 35 pounds in 37 days. Hello? Look at that. She's not going to fit into whatever she was on October the 3rd. Those clothes are going to be way too big for her by November the 9th. Would you agree? I'm only laughing because it's so joyous to hear people, just men lose 2 to 4 inches off their waist in a week with no exercise. 2 to 4 inches. I lost 8 inches off my waist, Stephanie, in 14 days. I went from a 42 to a 34. I'm still a 34-inch waist 23 years later. So the 3 top reasons to do this: 1, detoxification; 2, lower inflammation; and 3, be able to maintain it. It's really that simple. But also, Stephanie, I didn't even talk about increased energy, less mental fog, sleeping better at night, lowering stress, just more energy, more kind of zest for life. I have no idea how old you are, etc. It doesn't matter. We've got a lady 91 years old doing this, and she 4 months ago she was on a walker. Not only is she not on a walker anymore, she's taking taekwondo classes. I'm not kidding you. I mean, it's a miracle. And she even said, my God, I never thought I'd ever feel like this again in my life. You know, she's not running 100-year dashes, but she doesn't need a walker anymore. Hello? How great would that be for someone 91 years old? Yeah, I would agree. I love it, Stephanie. So who else would like to ask me a question? So 1M2 Sing, are you curious about this? Are you wondering how in the world this is possible? Because it's not a weight loss program. That's the throw-in. That's the least important reason to do this. So who else would like to ask me a question? My voice is getting a little challenged. I'm going to have to cut this one off here pretty soon so I can just rest my voice. Wow. It's almost 4 o'clock on the East Coast. 3:45. Wow. Or, yeah, right. 2 would be 4 o'clock. Yeah, so it's 3:45 on the East Coast. So who else would like to ask me a question before I need to rest my voice here for at least a half hour or so, and then I'll come back on live again. But Stephanie, something else, you can turn anybody on to our website, the New Health Conference. They don't have to be on my podcast to go to the website. It goes all over the world. It's free. The same thing. If they go there and they like what they see, then they can get a free coach or not. So Stephanie, I'm just curious, what part of the world do you live in? I assume you're in North America. I just sent it to my dad. Wow. You mean the website? Good, Stephanie. That's wonderful. Now, again, don't get mad at me. I'm just looking at your profile and it looks like you're relatively young. I mean, in relative terms, right? I mean, I'm going to guess, let me see if I can pull you up. Stephanie, I'm going to say you're late 20s at the most. Am I in the ballpark? Not that that matters. I'm just curious. Sometimes I'm good at guessing. Sometimes I suck at guessing. Okay, then I was right. Okay, good. But again, can you imagine how different your life could be? You get down to 120, I mean, you tell me. I'm not going to say anything. I'll just get myself in trouble. I would think that you'd be, let me say this, I believe you'd be happier, right? Would you say that's a good thing? Because you're going to have more energy, you're going to feel better. And just think about how you're going to feel when you're able to do this. Yes, I would. Great. Is there anything else you want to ask me, Stephanie? Because I am going to close this out. And just make sure when you go there, understand we're not calling you, we're not contacting you. You have to decide on your own if you want a free coach. Just there's a form. Now, the other thing I didn't even tell you, Stephanie, it's going to say when you go there, if you look for the coaches, 100% money back guarantee. Let me clarify that. 30% of what you're going to buy from your grocery store. When I say 30%, that's whatever you spent last month, no more than 30% of those dollars you're going to buy from your grocery store. The other 70% of the money you have left will pretty much pay for these exotic foods around the world. But they offer you, listen, I forgot to tell you this, all of you, 100% money back guarantee on the 70% you're going to spend. You don't have to have a reason anytime during the first 30 days. So Stephanie, you basically, look, you're buying a month's worth of food. That's what you're doing. But nothing's 100%, I would never. But you think she wants a refund after 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days? She's probably about what you want to lose. I mean, somewhere in that range, right? Wouldn't that be great? No, but I will spread the word. Great. Wonderful. All right, well, I hope you'll all go there and see what's there. I'm going to sign off now because I'm running out of voice bandwidth. Okay, everybody? And I want to thank all of you for listening, being here, whoever was here. I hope it's made an impact on your life, and just share it with as many people as you want. So bye, everybody. Bye, Stephanie. Enjoy going to the website, and hopefully you'll get a coach. Okay? Bye, everybody.